Kate Canny's concept is a new twist on a more traditional model for local farming, the CSA. Just over the town line in Dover, Merrill Latronica manages Powisset Farm, a beautiful example of community-supported agriculture. The CSA farm again creates a relationship beyond provider and consumer.
The best way to describe it is a partnership between farmers, farmland, and the consumer. And so basically, the consumers enter into this partnership with me and they say, okay, Merrill, I want to commit to you being my farmer for the season. They're basically trusting me to grow their crops for them. And so they will pay us up front in the winter and spring. And then once the harvest begins, which for us here in New England is about June, they come once a week to the farm and pick up a share of the harvest. And that's sort of whatever's ready in the field divided by the number of members that we have. The way I describe it is almost like a subscription to vegetables, but it's also more than that. It's a deeper connection to, really a farmer, getting to know a specific farmer, creating an ongoing relationship with them, creating a relationship with the farm itself and the land.
The rhythms of nature become much more apparent when you are watching and waiting for things to grow.
I think that's a big part about the CSA is that you are following a farm through its seasons. And yeah, you're really, this year was a late year for tomatoes. We've been waiting and waiting, and now we're finally getting tomatoes, and it's sort of like, okay, well, this is because we've had lots of rain, and they're really seeing, what happens in relation to weather and heat and just the year. And let's say we have a really bad year for onions, they might get 3 pounds of onions for a whole season. But if it's tremendous, they're going to come away with 30 pounds of onions.
Beyond the bumper crops, seeing what grows well locally also plays a role when you look at the CSA picture.
We grow a lot of beets in our CSA. I love beets. There's so many different varieties. We grow yellow beets and striped beets and deep red and beets that have amazing greens, and I get a lot of emails that say, I hated beets, but actually I like beets.
I love these beets.
Exactly. So I think it's sort of opening people's eyes to actually things can taste really amazing if you're given a couple choices, or if you're exposed to varieties that grow really well in New England, buying seeds that are grown in this part of the country as opposed to parts where we don't have the same climate. So it's sort of really thinking about varieties and making it interesting, as well as having the old standbys. Yeah, we're gonna have spinach, we're gonna have carrots, but they might even be a little sweeter than you're used to.
All of these factors combine to give members a richer sense of the rewards that come from farming.
It's a really fun part of the season when we get that first winter squash or that first tomato, and we put it out and we give it away, and it's like, here you go, we've been waiting, and here you are, you're so beautiful, you little squash, and sharing it with everyone. It's really a beautiful thing to say, we grew that came from this land that we pour our heart and souls into, and now we can take 5 minutes and sit down and enjoy, celebrate the harvest and enjoy it.
Getting involved with a CSA farm is a commitment with many aspects to keep in mind, such as how involved you want to become.
I think people really like to stay close to home. So I think you sort of have to start with, okay, what are the CSAs around you? And sort of think about that first. Some CSAs will box up the share and bring it to a spot. So maybe that's really good if you're just really super busy and you just want to go and pick up your box of food. It's, it's washed, it's in a box, it's laid out. It's really it's a pretty easy way to get your vegetables. Then there's places like our farm, which we have pick your own fields. So we really invite people to come on the land. So it may be for people that really want to take that extra step and connect to the land and go out there. We don't pick cherry tomatoes, beans, peas, or flowers. We totally leave that up to our members. You have to think about, how much can you pay? How much produce do you want? Where is the farm? And try to find the one that really most connects with what they want out of their farm or CSA experience.